In facing war, Jens Stoltenberg had planned to step down after 9 years in the powerful position of NATO Secretary General. The 65-year-old politician had already packed his bags to go home to his wife in Norway as he had promised her. But then President Joe Biden called and asked him to stay another year because in a troubled world, an experienced leader is needed more than ever. With unprecedented access, we follow Jens Stoltenberg through his last year of Secretary General of NATO. Facing War is directed by Tommy Gullikson, and he has previously directed War of Art and co-directed Veg. Facing War is a very fascinating documentary. You really do get a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at Jens Stoltenberg's final year as Secretary General of NATO. The film maybe primarily focuses on Ukraine's trying to get into as a member of NATO, and Jens' job in his final year is to try and kind of be like the mediator between the already members of NATO and also the other countries who are trying to join the NATO, primarily Ukraine. Like he has to kind of like be two people. He has to say to Ukraine, oh yes, I want you to join us, but then and then turn around and go to the existing members of NATO and say, oh, maybe it's not a good time for them to join, Ukraine to join. So he has to try and have different opinions in his mind because he has to appease and please many people. And the film doesn't really take itself too seriously. Like we capture Jens in lots of humorous moments. Like when he's training to make media, he has like a team of media trainers, and they really give him like fake hard questions, and he has to try and give his answers to this question. And then when he's training for this process, that can be quite humorous. And we do see him captured in kind of like candid moments with different world leaders, and like when we follow Jens walking side by side with the Ukraine president, and you kind of see them when the cameras are off, they don't know what they don't really have anything to say to each other. They have, besides being politicians, they don't really have anything in common, anything in personal. So the film captures those uncomfortable moments. And there's one funny moment where Jens goes to like a conference, and then the conference is over, and then one of his team says to him, okay, what are you supposed to go home? What are you supposed to get a ride with that other world leader? And he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh yeah, and he has to quickly catch up with the other world leader so he can go back to his hotel or airport, wherever he's supposed to go. So the film really does capture those candid moments. But for me, the film just got a little bit repetitive in its content, because it's just Jens mediating between the different members of the NATO and the other countries who are trying to get into NATO. And basically it's just that scene after scene after scene. I would have liked a bit more detail of maybe the other members of the NATO and how they come to their decisions and their thought process. I give Facing War 3.5 stars out of 5. This is a very fascinating documentary. You really do get a behind the scenes look at NATO that we haven't really had before. And Jens Stoltenberg, the former Prime Minister of Norway, really comes across as a very relatable, personable person. So I definitely recommend checking out this documentary if you're interested in world politics and the current situation between Ukraine trying to join NATO and the current war between Russia and NATO. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Facing War? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.